welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today you guys, I'm coming at you with another scary video. So today you guys, we're going to be diving into another ritual known as the Man in the Fields ritual. So guys, the point of this ritual is to summon somebody known as the Man in the Fields, and when he arrives, everything that can be open in your house will be open. So that includes like drawers, cabinets, fridges, doors, basically anything that can be opened and closed in your house will be open. And your job is to close everything in your house by midnight exactly. And if you're able to do it, then you'll be granted an entire year of protection. However, you guys, the whole time you're trying to do that, there'll be somebody known as the Man in the Fields in your backyard or your fields, depending on where you live. And if you so much as look at him and he sees you, then you'll be caught by the Man in the Fields. So we're going to go through the ritual, we're going to talk about the rules, talk about how to play, even though you should not play, and then we're going to get into my personal opinion. And like I say with all my scary vids, if you guys aren't okay with this kind of stuff, feel free to go off. But now, let's get into the Man in the Fields. The Man in the Fields ritual. The Man in the Fields ritual game bears similarities to a couple of other games. The most dangerous game, like the candle games, you have a task to complete after you perform the summoning. In this case, closing everything in your house that could possibly be open. And like the midnight game, you'll have to watch your back while doing it. Here you'll meet the Man in the Fields if you're not careful. But while the stakes for the Man in the Fields are roughly as high as they are for these two previous rituals, there are also much more to gain for the reason alone. The Man in the Fields ritual might be very attractive to some. Although the game's introduction notes that it has been passed down throughout the centuries and originates from British during the Middle Ages, I suspect that like many of the other games and rituals floating around out there on the internet, it's actually an invention of the digital age. An internet urban legend aged up to lend it a little more gravity. However, it is true that wickeder men have long been burned, stretching back to ancient times. So perhaps something at the root of this ritual after all. Of course, it's also true that we have little to no proof that these wicked men were used as tools for human sacrifices. The idea of them being used as such may have been a rumor spread by Julius Caesar, in an attempt to dehumanize his enemies. Okay. That scarecrow in your backyard is not a scarecrow. As always, play at your own risk. Okay. Players. 1 principle. Requirements. A house with a back garden or backyard, inside the house should be at least one room that has only one door. Ideally, this room should be empty, and ideally, the sole door should have a lock. A non-electronic source of illumination. A candle or lantern works well, as long as you have the supplies of matches or lighter. A crucifix. A watch or a clock. Do not use your cell phone, it won't work. Okay. Instructions. The invitation. Begin after sunset, but before midnight. However much time you leave yourself is up to you, but it's not recommended that you begin less than 1 hour before midnight. 2. Clear the house and backyard of other people. Make sure you have your crucifix on you. 3. Light your candle or lantern. 4. Enter the backyard and turn to face the house, repeating the following phrase 7 times. But who will scare the crows away? After the 7th repetition, listen closely. If you hear nothing, the summoning has failed. Do not proceed, although there are no negative consequences for simply returning to your house. It is recommended that you leave the premises immediately. Do not return until after 6 a.m. If you hear a voice behind you or perhaps in your own head, the summoning has succeeded and you may proceed. The voice will say, "That's not your biggest problem. Heed its warning." 6. Return to your house and close the door behind you. Do not look back. The main event. Go to your room with only one door. Ideally, the room should be empty of all objects, but if it is not, close anything in it that might be open. Drawers, closets, windows, doors, boxes, containers, bags, anything. Do not miss anything. If it is able to be opened, and if it is opened, you must close it. This will be your safe room. Leave the crucifix in the safe room. Continue carrying your candle or lantern. Exit the safe room. Everything else in your house that is capable of being opened will also be opened. Your task is to close everything, before the clock strikes 12. If you see a man with ashen skin in your peripheral vision, do not look at him. Do not make eye contact with him. However, there is no need to fear him. Simply go about your business. He is not the man in the fields. Do not look into your backyard. Do not look into your backyard. Do not look into your backyard. If you look in your backyard, go immediately to your safe room and close and lock the door. Find your crucifix and grasp it tightly. Pray you did not leave anything in the room open, anything at all. Do not open the door before 6 a.m. No matter what you hear or don't hear outside, don't open the door. Okay, the closing. 1. After you have closed everything in your house and you are positive you have closed everything in your house, go to bed and close one final thing, your eyes. 2. Sleep if you can. Do not open your eyes. 3. If you wake up in the morning, congratulations, you won. Okay. Additional notes. Although any house with a backyard or back garden will suffice as a location, a secluded home in the country with a proper field at its back is recommended. This location yields the strongest results. Although you may begin the ritual at any point between sunset and midnight, no attempt performed before 9 p.m. has ever succeeded. Additionally, no attempt performed less than 1 hour before midnight has ever succeeded, although for very different reasons. The winning condition. If you successfully completed the ritual, you will be completed. If you successfully completed the ritual, you will be completely safe for 1 calendar year. I cannot read today, you guys. However, what you are safe from will depend on when you begin the ritual. If you begin 3 hours before midnight, your safety is physical. You will suffer no illness. You will suffer no injury. You will remain in perfect health for 1 calendar year. If you begin 2 hours before midnight, your safety is physical and financial. You will remain in perfect health and will never want for money for 1 calendar year. If you begin 1 hour before midnight, your safety is complete and total. Your actions will cause no negative consequences in any way for you for 1 calendar year. It is unlikely that you will complete the ritual successfully in 1 hour. Concerning the ashed man. He is not the man in the field. He's more like a referee. Concerning the backyard. If you look in the backyard, you will see a scarecrow that you've never seen before. I say scarecrow, of course, but scarecrow is a loose term. It is much taller than any scarecrow should be, and it will be missing the same piece as a certain horseman I could name. If you see the scarecrow, he also sees you. And when he sees you, he'll begin to climb down from his post. This is a man in the fields. From the moment he turns his gaze to you, you will have no more than 60 seconds to reach your safe room and lock the door. Do not, under any circumstances, open the door before 6 a.m. If you do, he'll take something of yours, something you need, something you can't get ahead without. One final note. Should you be forced to flee to your safe room, you'd also better hope that you did not leave anything in there opened. If you did, he'll still be able to get in. And that is everything. Okay, you guys. So this ritual seems really, really risky. Like, it's kind of the fact where you can't look in your backyard or back garden or wherever you live, and if the man in the field, like if you look at him and you see him, he also sees you, and that's when he'll start walking towards you. And then you have exactly 60 seconds to get to your safe room. Also, everything in your safe room needs to be closed, so that's like bags, doors, cabinets, and if anything is open, he'll still be able to get in. So I do find that this ritual does have a prize, but again, you just gotta be really careful. And also, it says like he'll take something that he wants that you can't go on without. So, I mean, I don't exactly know what that like means, like what he's gonna take, but it's something that you can't go ahead with. So it could pretty much be anything. Like, there are a lot of games out there where If you end up losing the game, then pretty much the demon or spirit or whatever you're playing with will take your soul. And you guys know we talked about the Midnight Game on my channel, and the whole point of that is that if you lose or the Midnight Man catches you, he will trap you in a hallucination of your greatest fear, and will basically make you like feel frightened. We talked about the dry bones, which in this case you need to hide from the demon until, I believe it said 3:33 or 3:03, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but you have to hide from him until a specific time, and then after you have to ask him to leave. But again, he might not leave. We don't know that. So this game will give you protection, and depending on the hours, it will give you either physical or financial, or just like your actions won't have any consequences. But he even said that it's almost impossible to complete the whole ritual in an hour. Like an hour before midnight is risky because you have to close everything in your room and be careful not to be caught by the man in the fields. So this game does have a really big prize. I mean, like, who wouldn't want health for an entire year or be financially stable or not have any consequences for their actions? But again, the man in the fields is very, very easy to spot, and he will catch you. So he looks like a scarecrow, but in reality, he's not a scarecrow. He just looks like that. And you also have another man who is sort of like a referee, and if you see him in your peripheral vision, then just don't look at him. Like, he's not going to bother you, but he's still there. So I just feel like this game is too risky to play, because also the fact that if you forget to close anything in your safe room, like everything in your safe room should be closed. If you forget to close one thing, and that's like everything, so like boxes or like boxes or like even jewelry boxes, like anything that can be opened and closed needs to be completely closed in your safe room, and that's the only way it's going to be safe. So that also includes like windows or like anything that can be opened, like shoe boxes. So anything that can be physically open needs to be closed, and that's your safe room. And if you catch the man in the field, you have 60 seconds to get there, and you need to stay there until 6 a.m. So I mean, it also is kind of scary that after you repeat "but who will scare the crows away" 7 times, you're going to hear somebody saying, that's not your biggest fear, that's not like your biggest worry. Then the game has officially begun, and you need to start closing everything in your house. So I feel that like this game is really risky, because you don't know what the man in the field is going to take. He's going to take something that you can't like go on or live without, but we don't know what that is. And also, you have 60 seconds to get to your safe room before he catches you. And the thing is, if you look at him, then he's also looking at you. So if you accidentally look at the backyard, like even just accidentally look at the backyard and see him, then he sees you. And that's when he's going to come down from his scarecrow post and start walking towards you. So this game is really dangerous. I feel it is one of the more dangerous ones, because first of all, it never really told us who the man in the field is. Like, it didn't say if it's a demon or a spirit, or kind of like it didn't really tell us what the man in the fields is. So you also have no idea what you're dealing with. Like, at least with the dry bones, we know you're dealing with a demon. With the Midnight Game, you're dealing with a spirit. With Charlotte's Web, you're dealing with a ghost of a little 7-year-old girl. But the man in the fields, we don't exactly know who he is. We don't know if he's a spirit or a demon or something else. We don't know who he is, so we also don't know what we're dealing with. And when it says that if you lose a game, somebody will take anything you want from you, especially when it's something unalive and paranormal, then you are in big trouble, especially if you don't know what you're dealing with. I feel this is kind of like the Ouija board, because when you contact a spirit through the Ouija board, you don't know what you're contacting. You don't know if you're contacting a demon or a spirit, which is why they always say to be like polite and be nice. Like, don't aggravate it in any way, because you don't know what you're dealing with. And you could contact something that you don't want to contact. And I feel this is more dangerous because we don't know what we're dealing with. Like, it didn't say if the man in the fields is a spirit or a demon or just like this person. Like, we don't know like who he is. So you're dealing with something that you don't know their potential. And also, it's really risky to, like, it's just risky to leave your safe room, but you also need to, because you need to close everything in your house. And the only time you can return is if you end up looking into the fields, and when the field starts walking towards you. So I find this ritual really dangerous, even though you are granted either financial or physical protection for a year. And also, I feel like I'd say best one out of the 3 would be the last one, but the problem is you need to complete that in an hour. And if you complete it in an hour, then you'll be granted no consequences for your actions for an entire year. But then again, it's also the fact that it's really risky, especially if like you have like a big house. It's really hard to close everything in just an hour. So yeah, I just find this ritual really dangerous to play, because, I mean, to be fair, all paranormal rituals are dangerous, but I find this one really dangerous because you can't look into the backyard or anywhere where, you know, the man in the fields is. You need to have a safe room. You need to close everything in your house, and you just need to be careful not to keep anything in your safe room open, because remember, he said that if anything in your safe room is open and you're in there, it doesn't matter. He'll still find a way to get in. So everything in your safe room needs to be closed. Like, if you miss one thing, he'll still be able to get in and get to you. And then we don't know what's going to happen other than he'll take something from you that you can't go on without. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I just want to share this because I have seen this everywhere. Like, the amount of times I've seen the Man That Feels ritual on TikTok is ridiculous. And I just want to share it with you guys because I found it really, really interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts. I love to hear your thoughts about these kind of stuff. I'll see you on the next video. Bye. Love you.